I didn't find a job title that existed that fit those skill sets, so I decided to create one.
Have you ever felt like you're constantly racing towards success, but can't find a single moment of peace?
You can still be productive, but how do you feel, and are you feeling relaxed, connected to your intuition and all of that?
I'm Matt Bellman, and this is $1 Million Creators, where you can learn how to become a $1 million creator yourself.
The 10 people who have onboarded with me have paid $5,000 a month each to have access to me personally.
Meet Shauna VanBogart, a business coach who helps women achieve massive success with grace and ease through personal branding, performance coaching, and business reinvention.
Make your existing customers incredibly happy that they are shouting your name from the rooftops.
Welcome Shauna VanBogart to the show. She's the founder of The Pause and has a background in personal branding, performance coaching, and reinventing women-owned businesses. With a master's in communication and leadership and a clinical hypnotherapist license, she's known for her remote readings. Leveraging 15 years of experience, she created the PARA technique, a mindset tool to create rapid results for her clients. Shauna, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
100%. So let's jump right in. What's your mission on this planet, and what was the inflection point that made you start your business?
Well, I've always worked with women. So my mission, I really believe, is to empower women to carve their own path and really come into their authentic nature, which I know is very general. And there's lots of other people that do something similar with their modalities. I never sought to be a business owner per se, but I knew from a very young age I was going to be career oriented. And I just always felt a desire to do work that filled me with purpose. And so in college, I took an entrepreneurship certificate program. And even still, I didn't identify as an entrepreneur. I just wanted to find a career that suited my skill sets. It was very important that I got to do work that I felt I was really good at. And so I didn't find a job title that existed that fit those skill sets, so I decided to create one. And that was really the inflection of my self-employed career at the age of 22.
Nice. And what did you do before in your previous life?
Well, in my previous life, like I said, I started at 22 self-employed, but I was working public affairs for the Air Force for about a year and a half, and realized very quickly that that was not going to work for me. You're very capped in terms of how far you can go and how fast you can go. And I wanted to move a little bit faster in my life career-wise. So when I ventured out, my first iteration of a business was in personal transformation. I was an image consultant, and I launched South Carolina's first image consultancy in the state.
Awesome. Awesome. It's a good transition into what's your offer today? What value do customers get?
Sort of twofold. So I've been in the work of professional development for over 15 years. And I have a lot of modalities, like I said, starting from image and the very external things and how we work with those skill sets and those tools of image, behavior, body language to get things. And then I just kept going deeper and deeper and deeper. What emerged over the years was my own technique, because everything that I do, and all the learning and education that I've taken in, I'm always looking for, okay, how can I get these results even faster without losing the potency and the sustainability of actual change within people? So what emerged over the years was this tool called PARA, and it's a therapeutic and a mindset tool that we now certify other coaches, therapists, wellness practitioners to bring into their toolbox. But as a result of that, para also is sort of a flow or a technique that can be used in a lot of ways. And so one of the gaps that I saw was missing was to take para into a more mainstream audience, which is now called The Pause, which is the platform that we use Passion for, to house all of that, to take it to high performing, high functioning women who need to find that balance of hustle and heart, who really need to find that balance of, okay, you can still be productive, but how do you feel, and are you feeling relaxed and connected to your intuition and all of that? So it all emanates from para, but I sort of serve two different audiences with that.
Very clear. What's the main offer though? Is it one-on-one coaching, group coaching, on-demand classes?
So on the certification side, that's very clear. That's just a certification for paratechnique. And then on the pause, it's a $40 a month membership. And inside there are my version of hypnosis meditation tracks. I've sort of mashed those two modalities together. So the $40 a month membership with upsells to one-to-one pause coaching, which we pull from our para certified coaches that you can book those sessions with. So we have that upsell feature within the membership.
And the one-on-one, how much is that?
Can range anywhere from 200 up to 600, depending on who you're working with.
200 to 600 a month. And that
No,
is,
a session. That would be a session for a
oh,
single coaching session. Hmm.
interesting. That's solid. And how many sessions, let's say, it's mainly for women, right? Let's say how many sessions would my wife book? What's the typical?
Um, Usually, I would find on average people are 3 to 5 sessions. But the way that we have it, and this is a fairly new setup for us, so I can't say that I have a lot of history with this setup. It predominantly it's been me. Now that we have certified people, we just finished our certification last fall. So now that we have all these different practitioners coming on the line, they are all specialized in different kinds of audiences. So to not have to take away from the way that they best work with customers, we sort of work with them in their packages. They have an initial session under the pause platform. If they're a great fit, then that coach can go from there to move them into their own program. So sort of a win-win for everyone involved.
Nice. What's the funnel from awareness to I get my credit card out to I decide to join a one-on-one?
Uh, they're gonna be on the platform browsing for a bit. The platform of the pause offers, on-demand hypnosis tracks, but we also have these live pause sessions weekly. And the goal is to be able to come into your own wisdom, come into your own groundedness, find that clarity yourself. Inevitably, we can't read the label inside the jar always as humans. We all have blind spots. So the goal is to build as much trust and credibility with the way that we help people get clarity by using this technique. And then, there's going to be a day where they need that clarity from an external source. And if there's enough trust involved in our platform, it should be a no brainer to fill out a coaching application and then get paired with a pause coach. So,
Very clear. Cool. And what tools do you use to deliver the value?
um, within the Passion app itself, like
Okay, so
Zoom,
the
yeah,
Passion app would be one, then
yeah,
Zoom for the one-on-one sessions, likely. For the
yep.
coaching application, a type form, I
Oh
would
yeah,
suggest.
we use Google Survey.
Yeah.
I haven't made the switch over to type form. We're just familiar with Google Surveys. Zoom Voxer app is a really big part of my business. We use Voxer a lot, and sometimes we'll build in a Voxer component if we do any kind of group programs, which would also potentially be an upsell within the platform. A couple of times a year we may run like some kind of group program that people can join. So Voxer's a big tool. Besides that, we use ActiveCampaign for email marketing, and that's about it. It's pretty lean.
Super lean, love it.
Yeah,
Take me on a timeline. When did you launch this?
very recently. So, like, very, very freshly. I mean, I've been in business doing this for quite a long time, but everything was housed in a different software, web-based. The problem before was that when people would buy my meditation or hypnosis tracks, they had them for good. So we're talking like a $19 to $25 purchase transaction, and then there's nothing after that, and they've got it permanently. What I sought was a platform that, first of all, was incredibly convenient, which is why I made the switch to take everything off of a web-based platform and move it to something like Passion. And the thing is, you can't download my hypnosis tracks and have them forever. You have to remain in the membership to be able to access, and that's really, really important. Just for ethical sake, I don't want people sharing it, and obviously financially, that makes a lot more sense.
Makes sense. And recently means like November,
Yeah,
September?
November.
Okay, love it. Good transition to success. So how many paying? I mean, this is like your business, right? How many paying customers do you have today in your business?
Oh gosh, across the I don't know if I could quantify that across the board because I have several different channels, right? And next year, everything will be much more streamlined through actually predominantly the Passion platform. But right now, I have a community that has about 50 people in it. I have one to one clients. Right now, I have a roster of 10 personally. And then I have group programs that anywhere could have 150 people in them. And then I have one off purchases, on demand products that people buy. So, within a year, over 1,000 customers.
Okay, 1,000 customers per year. That's cool. That's a lot. That's a lot. That's a
It's a lot
lot.
of different it's a lot of different service offerings at a variety of intimacy points, whether people they don't want to talk to me at all, they buy, but they want one-to-one coaching. It's obviously a more intimate container. So I've done a very good job of setting up my product suite over the years to be quite diverse.
Got it. Let me see if I can sum it up and see if I see how far off I am. 10 one-on-one coaching people currently, right? So they likely
Mhm.
do a session a month, I would say. So a session is, let's say, 400. That's 4K a month. Then community 50 people. I guess that's the $40 a month. That's 2,000. Is another 6,000. And then 150 people buying group. You said group. Oh,
Mhm.
no, it gets difficult.
Yeah.
Maybe another 5 is 10. And then one on-demand stuff, another 2, 12 to 15K a month.
More than that. So if you wanna work with me privately because of what I do, historically, my rate has been personally $5,000 a month. So the
Awesome.
the 10 people who have onboarded with me have paid $5,000 a month each to have access to me personally. That's a huge revenue generator for me, one to one. Of course, my hours are incredibly limited. So I have to, and the reason for the passion transition as well, find a more scalable option. I will always do one to one, but obviously that suits a very specific price point for a very specific person. And that's a full roster, which I haven't had a full roster in a long time, but I had an open calendar. So we really made the push to onboard people. Then the group programs have spanned anywhere from $500 to $1,000 per registration fee, historically in the past. So, and that's always a natural upsell for me into one-to-one work anytime I do any kind of group program.
Got it. And the 150 was per year, or the 150 people that sign up for a group program, is that like on an annual base or a monthly base?
No, that would be per program registration. So I had a signature program called Mind Over Matter that we ran up until this year. We did a spring round. Yeah, this year was the last time. So we run it twice a year. Every round, that would be the enrollment. So twice a year.
Yeah. Twice a year. Wow, it's quite complex in terms of numbers, but I get like the gist. The gist is, hey, I'm selling time for money. I get good
Yeah.
money, like 5 times 10 is 50, but I want to actually automate it more and make sure that it scales more, and I'm actually make much more than the 50 through my on-demand automated products. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yep.
Nice.
I have a very loyal audience. I don't spend on advertising. I haven't spent on advertising. I don't do any Facebook ad. I do none of that. I have a very loyal audience, and usually once they're in, they're kind of in, and they buy multiple products. And I haven't done the numbers this year. We usually do this at the very end of the year. If I look at my customer roster, most of my revenue comes from a very small audience. And that's wonderful. I mean, if you have a good service, you produce results, you get results, which I do, your customers are going to be loyal. Now, it's really incredibly hard to stay relevant. And that's, you gotta keep learning, and you gotta keep one ear to the pulse, one finger on the pulse. And that's the hardest part, is not to coast. You can't coast, especially as a service provider. It's easy to do that.
Clear. Final question on this, and we move on. So 50 private through like one-on-one, and then there's more. So the magic number is 83, because with 83 times 12, you crack the 1 million.
Oh, yeah. Hmm.
So have you cracked the 83?
Not in a year, but I have cracked a million, but not in a year.
Okay, got it. So that means over the last years together, you're like kind of like definitely there. On the monthly run rate, maybe if you have a good month, you might also crack it, but consistently,
Yeah.
it's coming. in the
Yeah,
future?
I think when I did the numbers last, over the past 5 years, I'm at 1.7 million, and it's seasonal. My business has always been seasonal because when we run those group programs, we do a spring and a fall run, and so those are very historically very high months, March, April, September, October. Summer always is very slow. People are off, with kids off school and whatnot, so and that's fine too because that's a great time for us as a business to step back and be doing internal work rather than serving clients, so I
Nice.
honor the seasons.
And how's that grown compared to a year ago? Was it like about the same or much smaller?
So this year, intentionally, we took a step back. So last year was a fantastic year. We had a lot of momentum coming into January of 2023. And then as we started assessing what's the next phase, we stepped back. So I shut down one-to-one clients to just kind of have that space to think things through. So we intentionally took a down year this year, which I'm okay. I mean, no one likes to lose money, but I'm okay with for the sake of what we had to build. We needed the space.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice, 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 nice. Okay, great. Um, okay, and I guess this is like that's your main income. There's nothing else really. So that makes
Mhm.
sense. Cool, really good. Let's talk about lead gen. Um,
Yeah.
you said a small audience, or let's say a few customers that make a majority of revenue. What's the
Mhm.
audience size overall? Where do they come from? Like geographically, mainly US question mark. And then also, what's your
Mhm.
biggest channel? Was that also the channel that you started out, and which channel has the biggest potential going forward? There
Oh,
was a lot of
man.
questions. Sorry about
Yeah,
that.
I think I got it. So, my Instagram audience is about 15,000 total. I have several different accounts, but my main account, me personally, I have 13, and then we have some business accounts that we've popped up for different things. So, that's at about 15. Our email list is quite small. Our email list is like 2,300 people, and then that's it. Like I have accounts set up on other platforms and other channels, but we don't use them right now. Our biggest lead gen has been cross collaborations, podcast interviews, of course, but partnering up with other colleagues and collaborators to do joint webinars, joint workshops. That has always been incredibly um, producing for us and worth the investment. It introduces me to new audiences, so that has been the best way that I've grown and exposed my grown the exposure of my audiences is collaborations.
Nice. With collabs, quite often there's like recips, right? Like that you reciprocate
Hmm.
that thing. Has that worked out for you? Because sometimes like if you pick the wrong partner, then your
Yeah.
audience might complain.
Yeah, it's been very organic, and I've learned that because I just trust is so important to me. And the moment I lose integrity with my audience, the harder everything else gets. So it is a little bit of a longer game, I find, but it is so important because, like I said, my audience trusts me. They know that if they reach out, I'm going to have a genuine conversation with them about if this is the right fit for them. And if it's not, I'm going to tell them no. And that can be hard to do because it's hard to turn money down. Let's just be honest. But integrity is really, really important. And so most of the collaborations have been incredibly organic. You meet someone, you have a genuine connection, and their audience is very similar. You can fill a gap, and either we're doing a joint webinar together and splitting the profits, which I've done, or they're just putting me in front of their audience. And it's just kind of a handshake agreement, no affiliates. That, you know what, if there's ever a way that I can help you out, you do so. So it's always, there's some value to add on either side. It's not always both sides. So,
Very clear. And that's how you build up your audience and also sales.
yeah. Yeah.
Amazing.
I
Amazing.
have that conversion rate is high, for me, like unusually high, but again, that's the trust factor. So if I'm gonna do, let's say, a free webinar or something, I have typically higher conversions than what you would historically and traditionally see, like, per industry.
Let's say 100 people sign up or actually show up for a webinar.
Mhm.
How many would buy?
Well, of course, it would depend on price point, but let's say it's a really achievable price point, like a $200 product or a $150 product, I could see a 50% conversion.
Ooh, that's good. Yeah.
It's pretty good.
That's solid.
Yeah.
That's solid.
Yeah. Yeah. I will say out of a to get those 10 clients booked, that was pulling from a pool of about 60 people.
Yeah. Clear. It's also amazing. 10 out of 60. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. And then starting channel was Instagram as well, and potential channel for the future is then, what is it? Is it actually Instagram, or is it, hey, doing more of these collabs?
Well, the collaborations are going to continue to be important. We have to get back on the publicity bandwagon. So, doing more things like this, like I said, I've been sort of removed and stepped back for the sake of going to the next level. So now I need to come back out and I need to do this. The challenge is I have these two products that work together. I have the mainstream product, which will be Instagram, but then I have the para certification, which the pause will funnel into, but that needs to be more of a LinkedIn, I think, connection. And that's a bit of a foreign
Useless.
territory for me. So
Yeah.
I have to get back on LinkedIn. I think that's going to be a good channel.
Okay. And very quickly, main geo is US and Canada?
Yes. US and Canada. Hmm.
Yeah, that makks sense. Um, in terms of cost base of the business, how big is the team? Is you?
No, I have a online business manager. She's been with me for 5 years. Then I have a virtual assistant, and that's pretty much it. And then, as needed, I have people in the wings that I need as needed, copywriter here and there. But for the most part, we keep it very small.
Well, awesome, awesome. So that means biggest cost would likely be payroll,
Yes.
followed by, in some cases, affiliate commissions, followed by, do you do paid ads?
Nope, no paid
No, you
ads.
don't do that. So that's just tools then, I guess.
It's tools. It's a lot of professional development and the hiring of experts and consultants, the one off the contractors that we may hire for different things. That would be payroll number one, and then number two the professional services.
Clear. Okay, awesome. So let's move on to the future. Can you get it up to 10x by yourself?
By myself? No, I don't think so. I'm open to that idea, but with the team that I have, I think we're going to do a great job with the existing audience that I have and the launch. It's really only soft launch with the pause on Passion. So once we do a more formal launch, which will happen in January, I'm going to have to reach out to those collaborators, and I'm going to need help get exposed to other audiences. So we will be asking for that help.
Clear. This is a good connection to my next one, which is what's the best strategy to really win big in the next 12 months?
Make your existing customers incredibly happy that they are shouting your name from the rooftops. I find, having the difference between a great and an excellent product is an excellent product sells itself. And so we're going to give as much dedication to after the conversion as we are the exposure, because when our audience is happy, they're sharing it. And that was one of the intentions going into the Passion platform, is we wanted to create something that we could see women talking about at brunch with their friends. If we couldn't see them talking about it at brunch with their friends, we need to switch up the positioning and the marketing of it. I wanted it to be incredibly shareable.
Nice. Very clear. Biggest thing holding you back?
Time.
Moving
Time.
over to a section called Famous Five. Really quick, just one word answers are completely okay. What's your favorite business book?
Oh man, I don't have a favorite business book. I don't
That's
have a
fine.
favorite business book. Yeah, sorry.
Favorite person that you are studying?
Oh, who I love is Sarah Blakely. She's probably like so many people's favorite. I just love her.
Got it. Favorite social media channel for inspiration?
Instagram.
And what's your favorite online tool for building your company?
I would say Instagram.
Biggest thing on your mind right now?
Uh, Taking time off for the holidays.
Makes sense. Moving over to personal, how many hours do you sleep per night?
7 to 8.
Solid.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the situation? Married, single, or any kids?
Yes, married with a daughter. 3-year-old. A
Awesome.
three-nager.
What's your age?
39.
Awesome. Like me. Haha.
Thanks.
Okay, final question. We also want to share some advice for the audience. So if you could go back in time and have a conversation with your 20-year-old self, what's the best piece of advice that you would give to your younger self?
Oh man, be more receptive and be more vulnerable. I thought that I knew it all. I was very independent and very proactive. And I wouldn't take any of that away, but I thought I knew it all. And there were so many mentors and people around me offering advice that had already walked my path. And I was not as receptive as I thought I was at that age. And I wish that I would have absorbed it a little bit better. I probably could have moved a little faster.
Love it. That's Shauna VanBogart. She's founder of The Pause and started self-made essentially at a very young age of 22 after getting bored at the Air Force in public affairs. She came up with her own technique to create impact for customers called the Power Technique. And she has a whole roster of offers from on-demand courses to group sessions to one-on-one sessions. And with that is on a solid 7-figure annual run rate. Her team is lean and mean, but does a phenomenal job in impacting her customers and clients. Her biggest channel is Instagram. Size is overseeable, 15K, and it's incredible the conversions that she gets out of that audience. She took a step back last year to now hit it big in 2024. And sky's the limit. Thank you so much for sharing your passion, taking us to the next level.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. That was Shauna VanBogart. You learned how joint ventures can grow your business and how on-demand content can truly scale with just a tiny team. So how can you unlock the next level in your business?